Most people think flow state is some mystical superpower reserved for Olympic athletes and world-class musicians. They're dead wrong. What if I told you that getting into the zone isn't about talent or genetics, but about triggering a simple neurochemical formula that anyone can learn? I'm about to expose the exact system that lets you enter flow state on command, backed by decades of research that most people have never heard of. By the end of this video, you'll have the blueprint to access superhuman focus whenever you need it. Here's what they don't want you to know. Flow isn't random magic that strikes when you're lucky. It's been cracked by science. A psychologist named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi spent decades studying what he called optimal experience, and what he discovered changes everything. Flow appears when specific conditions are met, every single time. Think about video games for a second. Ever wonder why they're so addictive? They're literally engineered to keep you in flow state. The levels get harder as you improve. You get instant feedback, clear goals, perfect challenge balance. That's not coincidence, that's the flow formula being weaponized against your free time. But here's the kicker. If game designers can trigger flow to keep you glued to a screen, you can use the same formula to become unstoppable in real life. The only difference is knowing the code. So what exactly are these triggers? There are 4 non-negotiables that create flow, and missing even one will keep you locked out of the zone. The first one is crystal clear goals. Your brain despises confusion. Saying, "I need to work on my project" is useless noise. But saying, "I'm writing 300 words of my introduction paragraph" gives your brain a target to lock onto. Vague intentions scatter focus. Specific goals magnetize it. The second trigger is to find the challenge skill sweet spot. This is where most people mess up. Too easy and you're bored out of your mind. Too hard and anxiety kills your performance. But that Goldilocks zone where the task stretches you without snapping you, that's where flow lives. You want something that feels like a 7 out of 10 difficulty. Don't forget the immediate feedback. You need to know instantly whether you're winning or losing. Musicians hear every wrong note. Athletes feel every misstep. Gamers see their score update in real time. Without feedback, your brain can't calibrate, and flow becomes impossible. Last but not least, complete concentration. Flow demands your full attention, which means every distraction is flow's enemy. One notification, one interruption, one wandering thought can shatter 20 minutes of deep work. Your focus needs to be laser sharp and unbreachable. Get all 4 triggers aligned, and something incredible happens. But that's just the beginning, because what's actually happening in your brain during flow will blow your mind. When you hit flow state, your brain becomes a drug factory. And I'm not speaking metaphorically here. Your system floods with a cocktail of performance-enhancing chemicals that would make any athlete jealous. First, dopamine floods your reward system. This isn't just feel-good nonsense. Dopamine literally sharpens your focus and drives your motivation through the roof. You become obsessed with the task in front of you. Then, norepinephrine kicks in. This is your brain's natural stimulant, the same chemical released during fight or flight. It heightens your attention, speeds up your processing, and makes you react faster than normal. Time seems to slow down because you're processing information at superhuman speed. Finally, endorphins hit your system. These are your body's natural painkillers, more powerful than morphine. They block out distractions, kill fatigue, and create that euphoric feeling that makes you never want to stop. This isn't just being in a good mood. These chemicals literally rewire your performance. You think faster, learn quicker, and push harder without feeling the strain. It's legal performance enhancement, and most people have no idea it's sitting inside their own heads. But knowing what happens in your brain is worthless if you can't actually trigger it. So let me give you the exact step-by-step process I use to enter flow on command. Here's your personal launch sequence for flow state. Think of this as hacking your own operating system. First, create your flow ritual. Before you even touch your work, you need to signal your brain that focus time is starting. Maybe it's 3 deep breaths, lighting a candle, or playing the same song. The ritual itself doesn't matter, the consistency does. Do it enough times and your brain will start shifting gears automatically. Then optimize your environment. Flow is fragile, and distractions are its kryptonite. Phone in another room, not just silent. Close every tab except what you need. Clear your workspace until there's nothing but you and the task. Think of it as building a fortress around your attention. Don't forget to use the tiny start technique. You can't wait for motivation to strike. Motivation is unreliable. Instead, commit to the smallest possible action. Write one sentence, solve one equation, draw one line. Your brain craves momentum, and starting tiny removes all resistance. Always commit to single tasking. Once you begin, you're locked in. No checking messages, no switching tasks, no quick breaks to scroll social media. Flow usually kicks in after 10 to 15 minutes, not instantly. Most people quit right before the magic happens. Finally, leave breadcrumbs for next time. Here's a pro move that nobody talks about. When you're done, don't finish completely. Leave a sentence half written or a problem half solved. Next time you sit down, your brain will instantly re-enter flow by picking up that unfinished thread. Follow this sequence religiously, and flow stops being this mystical thing that happens by accident. It becomes a skill you can deploy whenever you need superhuman focus. But here's what productivity gurus won't tell you about sustaining flow long-term. Most people think the secret to more flow is grinding harder and staying locked in longer. That's exactly backwards, and it's why they burn out. Flow is a peak neurological state. Those performance chemicals I mentioned, they don't stay elevated forever. Dopamine, norepinephrine, endorphins, they all need time to replenish. Push too hard without recovery, and you don't just plateau, you crash hard. Here's the counterintuitive truth that separates amateurs from masters. Recovery isn't the enemy of flow, it's the fuel for it. Quality sleep is where your brain consolidates everything you learned in flow and builds the neural pathways that make tomorrow's flow easier. Skip sleep, and you're literally sabotaging your next session. Movement is your reset button. Whether it's hitting the gym, taking a walk, or just stretching, physical activity flushes stress hormones and primes your nervous system for deep focus. The best flow sessions often happen after you've moved your body. Even boredom serves a purpose. Those quiet moments where nothing is happening, staring out the window, sitting in traffic, waiting in line, actually recharge your attention span. That's why breakthrough ideas hit you in the shower or right before bed. Think of recovery as charging the battery that powers your deepest work. Honor it, build it into your rhythm, and flow becomes not just more accessible, but sustainable for years. Ignore it, and you'll flame out before you ever reach your potential. The people who master this aren't the ones who sprint the hardest once. They're the ones who stay in the game long enough to experience flow again and again. And that's where the real transformation happens. Here's what nobody tells you about flow state. It's not just a productivity hack, it's a complete life upgrade. Most people drift through their days in distraction mode, half working, half scrolling, never fully present anywhere. Days blur into weeks, and nothing meaningful gets built. But when you start stacking flow sessions, everything changes. Your relationship with time transforms. Instead of hours feeling wasted, you start measuring life in moments of complete immersion. You're not just getting things done, you're fully alive while doing them. Flow rewires your confidence. Every time you enter the zone, you prove to yourself that you can handle challenge, push through resistance, and achieve things that seemed impossible an hour earlier. That confidence bleeds into everything else. But here's where it gets really powerful. Flow isn't limited to work. You can bring this state into fitness, relationships, creativity, even rest. Imagine workouts where time disappears and every rep feels effortless. Conversations where you're so present that people walk away feeling truly heard. Creative sessions where ideas flow faster than you can capture them. Even cooking, reading, or walking can become flow experiences when you apply these principles. The goal isn't just accessing flow more often. The goal is building a life where deep engagement becomes your default, not the exception. Where, instead of life happening to you, you're living inside every moment fully. Most people spend their entire lives never experiencing their true capability. Flow shows you what you're actually capable of when everything clicks. And once you taste that, there's no going back. Let's recap the formula that changes everything. 4 triggers: crystal clear goals, perfect challenge skill balance, immediate feedback, and unbreakable focus. Flood your system with performance chemicals. Follow the 5-step launch sequence. Honor recovery as the foundation, not the afterthought. This isn't theory. This is a proven system that turns superhuman focus from a rare accident into an on-demand skill. But here's the thing. Flow only works if you can actually maintain focus long enough to trigger it. And that's where most people fail before they even start. The difference between people who access flow regularly and those who never experience it isn't talent, genetics, or luck. It's simply knowing the code and applying it consistently. Your brain is already equipped with the most sophisticated performance enhancement system ever created. You just learned how to activate it. The only question left is, what will you accomplish when you're operating at your true potential?